Uh, Pressure. Some on these gas get hectic. I put my bitch in the best shit. Wanna act goofy, stretch quick. Pressure. Some on these gas get hectic. I put my bitch in the best shit. Wanna act goofy, stretch quick.
And yo, what is good, everybody? We are finally back in the building for another episode of Between the Lines. So, no, we apologize. It's been a hot minute because, with NFL football going on and NBA basketball is coming around the corner, and the NBA and the MLB season finally wrapping up today. So, what's going on?
Nothing much, brother. Nothing much.
11-year drought. It's over.
It is over. The drought is over. It's over.
That's correct. You're not wrong. But it's just like with the postseason. Let's be real. I'm really excited to see what the postseason holds, especially 4 teams already hold a first round bye. I mean, the Braves already got their first round. Obviously, Dante's Houston Astros, the Yankees, and the who else? And the Dodgers. Thank you. Couldn't think of it. But yeah, before we get into it, what is good?
Teapot's going off.
What's good, Logan? What up, Jadis? What up, Daniel? Yo, what up, Joey? What up, Randy? Hey, Randy.
Oh, I got that shirt.
But yeah, shout out to everybody coming through. So, first thing I want to kind of go over is what is y'all's expectations, especially for this postseason, both the American League and the National League.
I'm expecting the Phillies to make their name known in the playoffs and on national TV. They've beaten up on the Cardinals before this season, so I expect them to at least win 2 games. Get out of that wild card. I expect them to make it to the division series. That's where they'll get trounced by Atlanta.
Yeah, that's what
I don't see them beating Atlanta in the division series because the Atlanta Braves play harder in the playoffs than they do.
We've seen it last year too. My thing is too, it's just like I haven't said this too. Is like I think we're going to go far as the second round, but I'm okay with that. That's a good start and step.
Fantastic start.
I mean, after what we saw from and my thing is too with Rob Thompson too, and everyone knows how me and Tyler really do feel about that because a lot, and even Key, and for those who are not Phillies sports fans, or that on the blue, or what our drought was, we went through 6 different managers, 3 different general managers, and an 11-year history or that drought.
Yeah, and also, if you count the days, it's been 4,000 days since our last playoff appearance, prior to us clinching 2 days ago. 4,000 days. I don't know. It was 4,000 days. 1,000 blockbusters came out in the theaters. Netflix went to streaming. Put it this way, Rob.
Mm.
Well, the last time we made the playoffs, Netflix wasn't even a streaming app,
No, you're really. It's yeah.
and it didn't go great. And Netflix didn't blow up the way that it was. It was still a DVD service. By 2011, and also the last time we made the playoffs,
We were not even in our freshman year of high school at that point.
we were in eighth grade, Rob. Eighth
Yeah.
grade. The
It-
last time we made the
it's
playoffs.
just that, I mean, from what we saw, I mean, yes and no, we did have some hiccups throughout this entire year. Obviously,
Yes, and yes, we were the fans. Oh, we're gonna plummet. We're going to miss the playoffs yet again for 11 straight year. Here we go. We're sorry to the Phillies. We're sorry. We doubted you guys. We're
but
sorry.
I still feel like, and I
There's
want to get.
there's obviously some building blocks that need to be built for we're a
Oh,
championship
absolutely.
contender.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
I feel like the future's bright for this team. Finally, dude.
Yeah.
Chinese food. Everybody goes to Chinese.
There goes Key.
Yeah, but yeah, our future's finally bright. I feel like we're going to make a postseason push. We're going to make we are making a postseason push this year. Next year we're going to make more of a push, hopefully, and then I would think year 3 when we're going to be in the World Series. By year 3.
I would say by year 3 or year 4 because our farm system from the last couple of years has not been the best, but we do have guys.
But here's the thing, Rob. With Dombrowski, we've been able to kind of rebuild that farm system, which I love.
Right?
I
yeah,
love that.
I mean, kind of. I wanted because Dante has. I mean, even though he was with us yesterday on the clinching game, and Dante knows it better than anybody. He knows what it takes to rebuild.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I feel like the Houston Astros are the equivalent of the Golden State Warriors. They were able to build through the draft,
and that's something
and
that I
get
feel
some
like.
young pieces.
And I feel like Dave. I mean, this is why I feel like sometimes Dave has to go out and get some better veteran pitching because we know that Kyle Gibbs is not coming back. We know that Thor's not coming back.
Yeah, they're on their last leg, so I think those two guys are out.
Because
I feel like one of the top pitchers, top prospects will be one of the pitchers. Like
I feel like that could be. I feel because you already got Griffin Gary already promoted to AAA. I mean, you also got Mick Abel and Andrew Painter falling right behind them, and also Painter was also voted for Pipeline Pitcher of the Year for our Phillies for the organization. So I think, even though I have, when the Phillies drafts these high scores, I'm very skeptical of it, but I can see where the talent lies when it comes, and that's a really good development with these kids.
Now, on the other side of the bracket, we have the Astros, and
you got the Seattle Mariners, the Blue Jays,
the Mariners, Blue Jays,
the Cleveland Guardians. Who would have thought they would ever make the postseason?
The Guardians are the surprise team.
Well, then again, the AL Central is division.
But going in, Rob, they were slated to not make the
postseason because they were so young.
They were young, and this young team said, "You know what? The heck with the doubters, man. We're making the postseason," and they went out and won their division. They're in the playoffs, and it's amazing to see.
No, I think one team that deserves a lot more than anybody else, and that's the Seattle Mariners.
I was going to say this too.
Shoot,
give it up to the Seattle. Yep. And yeah, their drought was longer than ours. They had a 20-year drought. The last time they made it was 2001. But give it up to the Seattle Mariners, man. And also their fans. Their fans deserved it. They were deprived for so many years of playoffs.
2 decades. How do you stand that?
2 decades of no playoff. And how do you stay loyal through that? How? It's just. usually
It's-
fans would stop going to games. Period. To like come on, like this team, man. Great young team. I expect a lot of great things from the Mariners organization. Give it up to their GM. Finally
it
righting the ship after 20
I mean,
years.
not just that too, because I mean, they went so many different good players over the years. Some decent ones. I mean, the good players they had over the 20-year span. You had guys like Ken Griffey Jr., the big unit himself, Ichiro, just to name a few. But I think, and I mean, I was going to agree with this too, but that like the Seattle Mariners, like I think I remember it's been 2001. I think that's one of the best years that the Seattle Mariners have played ever. The best baseball.
Yeah,
You know,
they had what 115 wins,
116, which is the MLB record.
Yeah,
But I feel like with the way, and a lot of times too, and I want to kind of get and especially with the third wild card spot. I know there's some that might not like that, but for me, I think it's an interest. It's the way that I see it. That third wild card, it's like a play-in the NBA. The way that I see it, because you already got the 2 wild cards, but then you got the third one.
I don't really consider it a play-in. It's basically just a third spot for the playoffs. That's all it is.
But still, I mean,
a play-in to me would have been like a game 163. That's a play-in.
But yeah, I mean,
but
giving another team an opportunity.
Yeah,
that
is true
as well.
Yep. And that's the thing. I really don't like the fans. You know, oh, your team. If it was last year, your team wouldn't have made it. It's not last year. It's this year. We made it. So what?
The rules some things are definitely changing, and I think Dante had something to add to that as well.
I said a play-in scenario. That's a one and done situation. If you basically a one and done situation, it's a full playoff series, so it's not a play-in. Yeah, it's actually full time series. It's actually a full time series.
That's exactly what I was saying. It's a legitimate series because the play-in, it's one game. It's like
it's just one game.
You lose that game, you're out. That's the thing. But and like Dante said, it's a
slow. I was like, oh, it's 3 games. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, like Dante said, this is not like a play-in. This is a full legitimate playoff series. This is a series. This is not a game like that's the NBA where it's a play-in. And that's the point that not the NBA. What am I saying? NBA. MLB is trying to make. They're trying to make it a series because yes, when they had that one game, it was essentially a play-in.
Yeah, and I think,
but it's a 3-game series.
I feel like
so now,
the 2 out of 3.
Yeah, it's the best 2 out of 3.
I like that. I like that. It gives both teams
one and done. All those play-in tournaments.
It's
I don't consider it as playoffs. I don't consider it as playoffs.
No,
I consider like the NCAA tournament. First 4 in, first 4 out. First 4 in, first 4 out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't consider I don't consider like baseball a play-in tournament is going actual playoff. I don't consider that.
Yep.
You in the real playoffs, Phillies are in the actual playoff. If there was a one and done scenario like a play-in, I'm not considering that as playoff scenario. It's playoff scenario.
Yeah, that exactly. That's why the wild cards always in years past have been overlooked because of that one game scenario. That because it's just essentially a play-in for the real series. That's all it is.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean,
it's amazing that the Mariners are in the playoffs, breaking their drought. We broke our drought, so 2 droughts broke in one season.
And the only one team that we're going to be laughing at for the next 10 to 15 years is probably the Anaheim Angels. So that's the only one team we're going to be laughing at.
Maybe the Tigers will win a championship before them.
That I could imagine.
Here's the thing. Every team in the league is going to win a championship for that team.
Before the Angels.
If that owner rescinds his plan to sell, they're not making the playoffs.
The A's will win a championship before the Angels.
Oh God! Yep. And I know Jake will be one happy man though. I will say that much. Good Lord! After what the H has been through, all that fire sale. But I mean, overall though, I thought it was still a good season for a lot of teams. I mean, we know that we've seen some just completely shit the bed. I mean, we know that the Washington Nationals, perfect example for a team that was a World Series winner in 2019, and for some reason took a whole 180 and just completely
that's the thing. It was like they won the championship, they're on the mountain, then they just plummeted down the mountain. Like you couldn't even build off of that to stay in contention.
So Robert and Tyler, I'm gonna ask y'all something. I already asked Dante this, and he already told me. So which y'all surprise team that y'all thought was gonna be this big team but ended up being shit?
Oh, that's it. That's a good question.
I'm going to have to give it to
What's gonna be the surprise team?
I don't know.
That's a very good question because there's a lot of teams. Oh my God.
The only team that was bad that I would think would have had a legitimate shot at making the playoffs with their acquisitions would have been the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, I was thinking the Tigers or the Marlins.
Because we saw like these young prospects last year blossom into, stardom. Like that one guy Rob always rants about for Detroit. He's regressed.
Javi Baez, dude, absolutely stunk it up in Detroit.
When they got Javi Baez, I'm thinking they're going to be a playoff team. Because Javi Baez isn't bad. But no, they just stayed bad. I'm like, that's shocking.
It really is.
I'm going to have to give it to the Detroit Tigers.
I'm going to tell you about this because I like what Torkelson brings to being a first baseman. Casey Mize, we know what this kid's capable of, especially coming out of Auburn. Riley Green, I think that kid's got something there. You got Akil Baddoo, his first year in the big leagues, that kind of took that by storm. But ever since Javi Baez, I think, and I talked to some Cubs fans, he has not been the same since he left Chicago. Like when he left the Chicago Cubs, he has not been the same. And it also applies the same thing with Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant has never been the same since leaving Chicago. The only one I feel like that has, made a difference leaving Chicago, I'm trying to think. It was Anthony Rizzo. I think Rizzo is the only one I feel like has been somewhat consistent since leaving Chicago.
Yep.
Because I feel like we know what Chicago is, as Goalie puts it, the lovable losers. But I feel like they got something there to work with. Ian Happ, Wilson Contreras, Patrick Wisdom, just to name a few. And that they got a decent pitching staff too. And, it's just like, it was really tough to see the Cubs go from a World Series champion 2016, and blow that core up. Yes, I get it. Some of them were getting up there in age, especially Anthony Rizzo. I think he was one of the older one out of the bunch. We know that and it's the same thing with Chapman. Chapman has never been the same since leaving Chicago. I think he actually had a solid year in Chicago in 2016. Really stunned. And we've seen that finally age catching up to Aroldis Chapman. So my thing is just like Detroit is I think should have been had a lot of high, I shouldn't say high expectations, but they had some expectations to be a lot better than they were because they got a good manager, they got a decent coaching staff, but just for some reason they just couldn't execute it.
Yeah, going into the season, they were one slated to be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
going into the season, and they just really didn't do much.
So what I had the Twins and the White Sox, and Damian, I said it. I had the Twins, had the White Sox. I said it, and I said the Astros before baseball even kicked back. I said the Astros without Carlos Correa is still gonna have a better record than the Chicago White Sox. And how about those apples, Carlos Correa? You sit your butt up on that couch and you watch the Astros try to compete for a World Series. That's what you get for leaving a contending team and taking less money to sit at home on the couch. So, yeah, I had the Minnesota Twins with Gary Sanchez. They did add Gary Sanchez. They did add Giovanni Urshela. They did add him. They did have Ahmed Azario. They had Gregor Blanco, Max Kepler. All of those bats are really, really good. But the one thing that was suspect was the pitching. You go back to the White Sox, the pitching was good, but the bats was suspect. So I had the White Sox and the Twins.
For me,
the Red Sox too. They shit the bed too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Also,
not
the Red
wrong.
Sox were shocking to me too, because I didn't expect them to be significantly worse than they were last year.
Well, that's what
They were in
happens when you
the AL. They were literally in the ALCS last year, and now they just really went.
pick
They
completely
stunk.
south.
But,
It was they were so bad they actually picked up Familia to add to the bullpen. Good luck with that, Boston.
yeah, as soon
How did that
as, soon
work
as
out?
they
Woo!
here's the thing. Here's the thing. As soon as they added Familia, and I saw on the local news because I live up in Rhode Island, so they cover the Red Sox up here. And I just laughed when I saw on the news that they got Familia. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys got worse. But
And- Yeah,
so hold on. Let me finish my thought, Rob. But for the White Sox,
oof.
they didn't really shock me because we literally fleeced them by giving them Velasquez. If we give you Velasquez, you know you're gonna suck.
I mean, but you
Like,
still finished
really.
first in the division last year. You still was the pick to be the better team. When you
But
got
here's the thing.
like
But here's
Evan,
the thing. Here's the
Robert,
thing, though.
come on now.
Hold on, Dante.
I didn't expect
But
that.
here's the thing. We were slated to make the playoffs even with Velasquez last year, and he held us back. He held this team back. He's one of the key reasons why they didn't make the playoffs. And also the trades they made were just not that good. So I mean, yeah, you can say last year, oh, they made they won the
They still have
division.
the same team though from last year. Really, literally the same.
Relatively,
Team last year.
hold on. Relatively, yes, but they made trades that held them back from repeating as division champions. That's the thing. You can have the same core and be worse. That's the thing.
That's the point. Nobody expected them to be worse than what they were last year. They still picked the win the division, at least the down division. You mean to tell me you're not better than you? Well, they not better than Cleveland Guardians right now because the Cleveland Guardians in the playoffs. That's the same roster they had last year. They tweaked a couple of trades. They messed up on a couple of trades, but there's no excuses for them.
But here's the thing. But hold on, Dante. Hold on. But those trades are what hold them back. These analysts don't know what the heck they're talking about. They're going to still win the division. Those trades were bad trades, and that's what's going to hold them back. They need to delve deeper and stop looking at face value.
And to add to your point, too, is also you can put some blame on the manager and the way that Tony La Russa handles things. Because remember, he had a good could have been a superstar prospect in Yeremy Mercedes, and they got rid of him. And you remember, and Tony La Russa held that team back as well. So there's a lot of factors played into
Also the coaching. The coaching was bad for them.
Stay retired, for the love of Christ.
He was taking one too many swigs.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, and he also needs to go to bed early because he's falling asleep in the dugout.
Oh,
Like,
right.
Oh my god. Did he say
Yeah.
he could go to bed early?
Yes,
Because he's
Tyler
falling asleep
Whitner.
in the dugout.
There's no sleeping in baseball.
There's
Well,
no sleeping in baseball, LaRusso.
I think so far, though, I thought it was a pretty good year for a lot of teams, though. I mean, I know there's some teams that are going to be looking for a manager. I mean, Miami's one of them. Chicago, the White Sox, wrong Chicago team. Maybe us, but I think it seems
I
that
really think we should consider rehiring Rob Thompson.
I think we will.
And I think we will. I think we will too.
The Marlins are going to need a job because Mattingly's leaving.
I think, and you have, La Russa's retiring. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
and look, the Yankees might need one. Didn't they not bringing back Aaron Boone?
They unfortunately
right now at this point they're keeping Aaron Boone around until after the playoffs. But if they don't hold on, Rob. But if they don't do anything in the playoffs, it's over for him.
Well,
he's getting
the way that I see it, because this past offseason they did extend it to a 3-year contract extension, and that sent the Yankees fan base into a frenzy because most of them don't not like Aaron Boone.
But here's the thing. I could see why they didn't want Aaron Boone back because they very nearly with a first 90-win team that almost missed the playoffs
Yeah, and you're
by collapsing.
Yeah, I think it was like over 10.5 games in the AL East, and almost went down. It went down to single digits. I mean, good lord.
They were nearly 10 games up in the division. They plummeted down to I think 2.
Up 2-0.
But that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a meaningless game. Who cares?
But I think another team that's also could be in consideration for a new mention, that's the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, the Blue Jays, their season has been very interesting because, because Kevin Biggio, what the hell happened? I mean, he kind of took a downturn. Vlad Guerrero
Kevin Biggio went.
Hold on. So Phil Nevin will remain
coach. God damn.
Wow.
Another losing season. That's another losing season for the Anaheim Angels. But kind of going back to what I said about the Blue Jays, I mean, they got some star talent on that roster. I think John Schneider, has done a pretty good job taking over for Charlie Montoya.
They got Vladdy. They got
Bo Bichette. I mean, his dad was pretty fun to watch back. His dad was pretty fun to watch back in the day. I mean, you had Barrios. I know that was a down year, but I think he's still good enough to be consistent for them. Kikuchi is complete ass. We all know that for sure. Yeah. I mean, the bullpen, as you know, we had a couple Blue Jays fans in here, Randy and Jeff, who are Blue Jays fans. The only thing that they're worried about, especially right now in the postseason, is their bullpen. Some of their arms has not been very reliable, and what we saw in some games too. I mean, there were some teams that the Toronto Blue Jays should have beat, and really didn't do much to help them. But Danny Jansen's been a pretty good catcher. Alejandro Kirk, what a season that kid already had. The fact that
monster season this year, monster.
And I looked at his numbers earlier. Like he had struck out 57 times, and you had everybody else striking up in the high triple digits. It's like that should tell you of just how patient this guy is.
Yeah, but not swinging. You're not whiffing on bad pitches. That's the thing.
So they got so it's Davey Martinez, Sandy Alomar Jr., Joe Espada, Will Venable, Pedro Guerrero, Don Mattingly could all be candidates for the White Sox.
Yeah, we're getting Rob Thompson back because that's a really, really poor.
That's a
coaching.
Yeah. And this is why going back to what Dave, though, despite the fact it was funny to see his ass kind of drunk as hell, but that's besides the point. But Dave,
who?
Dave Dombrowski.
Oh, Dave! Oh my gosh, dude! When he came up and he started hugging players during their interviews, I'm like, this guy's too many. Here's the thing.
All they was drinking was Miller Lite.
Yo, what up, Eric?
But here's the thing. You know how I know he was drunk as hell? Because that's how I get when I'm drunk. Just coming up to random people and hugging them. I'm like, yeah, he's drunk. He's drunk.
And so far, though, so far, I think Dave Dombrowski has done a really decent job in year 2.
Really good job.
Yes, I know there was some change.
Here's the thing, Rob. He deserved to get drunk off of Miller Lights. Okay? He deserved it.
So before y'all start talking about the actual bracket, so who was this a good player throughout this season that nobody really gave credit for? Who can y'all say from each person, and everybody go around? I'm going to take myself out of this position because I don't really. There's too many.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let Rob go first because I can't really think of anything.
So this could be anything, correct? That's in the postseason.
Any of the teams ever. I think.
No, just this season. If they made it to the postseason, then name them. But I'm just saying overall, a player who nobody really gave credit to. But
I feel like because I do want to go to the Phillies. I think the one guy I would say he doesn't really get enough credit is Brandon Marsh. Yes, Brandon Marsh is not the kind of guy that's very flashy, but he has helped us at moments to where we really needed it. You know, I mean, we know what Hoskins can do. JT had a really good year, and the pitching staff has actually, and Nola, give credit where credit is due, probably pitched the best game of his career. I mean, now we're going to have Wheeler has actually a pretty good year despite some injuries. We have a lot of guys that have done, really try to help this team win. But I think Brandon Marsh is one of those guys I feel like, really doesn't get enough credit. Yes, I mean, he could pop a couple home runs here and there, but he's also has played a really good center field despite, there were some mistakes in some games, but he actually has learned from them, and he's still young. So there's a lot more to work with Brandon Marsh.
I'm going to have. I don't know if I watch enough sports to even know that if this guy's getting talked about or not. But I'm gonna have to give it to Alec Bohm. The way that this guy had bounced back from that really poor showing, where he committed 3 errors and said he hated the Phillies, or no, he hated Philadelphia. But we chalked it up as him just being angry at himself, which rightfully so, because you did mess up. You didn't know that you messed up. But over the season, defensively, this guy has gotten way better. Tremendously better. Over that stretch of 100 and something games that he has played since that day that he committed the 3 errors. Also, his bat, he's a very decent bat. I really think Alec Bohm is criminally underrated. I feel like he's going to be one of the stars, that he's going to be one of the pieces in this core the Phillies have. He's our third baseman. And I'm glad and I'm happy to say that, because we haven't had a quality third baseman since what? Polanco?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We haven't had a quality third baseman since then, and this guy is it. I'm happy for Alec Bohm. So Alec Bohm is my underrated player of this year.
Dante, who you got? You got an underrated player this year?
In every sport, I got an underrated player. And my underrated player plays for the San Diego Padres, second baseman Jake Cronenworth.
Yeah.
Okay.
He get talked about a lot. He's a second baseman, 6'1", 180 pounds, 240 batting average. Don't let the batting average fool you. 17 home runs, 87 RBIs this year. Jake Cronenworth, and he was in the All-Star discussion. So this man deserves some love. Great second baseman, great hitter, got a lot of pop in the back, and also got an OPS percentage of 725. Pretty solid bat, man. Pretty solid with the best. So
here's the thing. Here's the thing about his batting average. It doesn't matter in today's game. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Do I have one? Hold on. I do. I just gotta find out where teams on. Hold on. I know where. Okay, hold on. I know the name when I see it. Give me a second. Give me a second. Where is it? Doggone it! I lost it. Oh no! Then Austin Riley.
Oh yeah, Austin Riley's a beast.
There you go.
Honestly, with his walkout song too, that makes Stone Cold proud.
Here's the thing. His walk-up song and Edwin Diaz's walk-up song scare me. Okay.
Yo, Edwin Diaz walkout song is legit. I'm sorry.
I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says. I'm agreeing with Key here. It's legit. It scares me. It shivers my timbers every time I hear it. His walk-up song.
And this is another thing too. I want to add to that too. The fact and Braves did that too with Williams. Sorry, the wrong Contreras. But when the Mets were in town, man, you talk about it, man. They actually know how Braves know how to troll a little bit. Troll the Mets too.
They're the troll masters, man. And the thing is,
and this is my thing too. I think I want kind of.
Here's the thing. They posted a picture of the Mets releasing their shirts prematurely, and then them winning the division. It was hilarious.
It's like
they're the master trolls. I don't care what anybody says. The Braves are master trolls.
Even though we hate the Braves, but we can't deny the fact that they have much better talent than, especially in the NL East. Like,
and I knew going into that series with the Mets, they were going to catch the Mets. I knew it. Like
because the Mets are going to Met. Like they're
gonna Met, and obviously if you look at the roster that the Braves had, they're exponentially better than
I mean, you got
than
Riley,
the Mets are.
Matt Olson.
Yeah.
I mean, Ozzy Albies, Ronald Acuna Jr. when he's healthy. That kid's Willie Contreras. Actually, that's another underrated guy I think that has really came out to play, and that's Willie Contreras.
Did you just bring up Matt Olson?
Matt Olson also.
That dude used to kill us, bro. The Astros used to kill us, bro.
The Astros have two killers.
That's the one dude I'll be like, God damn, please don't.
So what you're telling us, Dante, is he's an Astro killer.
Yeah, he was an Astro killer with Oakland. Yeah. Yeah, that dude. That's why I said that's gonna push the Braves over the top with that dude, Matt Olson. That's why I say they got kind of a young upgrade over Freddie Freeman, a younger upgrade, someone that can play first base, that can hit for contact and hit for power. That dude, Matt Olson, is the truth. He's the real deal.
He's a beast, and that's what I looked at. Like when they traded Freddie Freeman to the Dodgers, I thought it was a bad move. Then they got Matt Olson. I'm like, they kind of rectified it with
because
I
think Olson had somewhat better numbers than Freddie. Because remember, Freddie was also getting up there in age because Freddie was 33. You have Matt Olson.
I just didn't like how they did it and they hit it from him. That's the only thing. They would have just told him. Like,
but
that's what really irritated me. But other than that, they didn't really set themselves back by trading Freeman because they got Olson. So I still strongly think that the Braves roster is exponentially better than the Mets, and I knew they were going to catch up to them. I knew it. So
and that's another thing too. It's like there were some games that the Braves have played. You can definitely tell, even if Matt Olson was not playing well. At times, it does give you things like maybe they did miss Freddie Freeman a little bit, but
here's the thing. But here's the thing. Even in those games, he made it up for it with his defense.
That is true.
He made up for it with his defense, and they would still win games. So,
and that's done. And like I said, Acuna. I mean, he's always been that impact player that I think, what you would expect. William Contreras, even though pretty much at DH, but I think overall could be a really good catcher if they don't decide to bring back d'Arnaud. We know that d'Arnaud's also getting there in age. We've seen catchers really don't do well as the age. Well, I mean, unless you're Buster Posey, but the injuries really took a toll on Posey's body. I mean, we've seen after hit that Buster Posey has taken. So I think if they do want to bring it back, d'Arnaud for the Braves, I think Contreras should be that second guy to be his backup because there's some potential there. I mean, and with the Cardinals too, it's crazy as it sounds that we might be seeing the end of an era between Waino, Yachty, and Pujols, which is crazy.
Can I say something right now? I'm honored as a Phillies fan, that we get to play in those three guys' final playoffs together. I am honored to be one of those teams. Honored. Because those three are legends in their own right.
Well, they're all
Waino, Pujols. Yeah.
And not just that, too. You got three Hall of Famers right there. And I even talked to Dante. And I asked Dante this too, because we know that I think Waino, he might be getting on the second ballot, but I think you got two first ballots in Yachty and Pujols. Because
Yachty and Pujols, they're for sure first ballot.
And
Waino, I think he would be first ballot. But that one season did set him back a little bit.
Yeah, so that's the reason I think. But I do think there's an argument to make he could be a first ballot too, because a lot of times there's going to be some arguments to be made for certain guys to be first ballots. Because Pujols, we know he's an automatic first ballot because of the career he's had. Let's be honest, should never left in the first place with the Cardinals. Because let's be real, it really has really
nice. I feel like what screwed him up is him going to the Angels. That screwed him up. He was never a bad player, but the Angels made him bad because they tried to change him.
It's Friday.
Yep. They tried to change him. They tried to change his game. and he struggled
Yeah.
because they tried to change. He goes back to St. Louis. They said, you know what? Whatever happened in Los Angeles doesn't matter. Be yourself. Play your game. And he's been able to play his game, and he's back to where he was before he got traded.
Yeah, and Yachty, yes, we know that he's not great offensively. We've seen that in his prime years.
He took
But
but here's the thing: he was never bad offensively. That's the thing.
I mean, he was just a below average hitter, but defensively,
No, Rob. He was never. Here's the thing: he was never below average. He wasn't. He was just average. He was never below average, Rob. Never.
All right,
Basically, you're saying he stunk. He's not. He didn't stink. He's average.
What before we gotta go move on to the whole nitty gritty of why are we here? What rookies in the postseason? Talking about teams in the postseason is gonna make some noise.
for me, one comes to mind is Seattle. That's J-Rod. I think Julio Rodriguez. We know that he's an automatic. I think a rookie of the year for the American League winner at this point because of the season that he's had. Because I think Mariners. I think the Mariners they got something cooking for them. I think J-Rod has really been that spark plug. I feel like when it comes to the rookies, Jarred Kelenic has kind of fallen off a little bit, but I feel like J-Rod can really pick up the pace for the Mariners if they want to at least go far. And hopefully have aspirations to win their first world title in franchise history, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Tyler, you got anybody?
I have to agree with J-Rod.
Dante, you gonna say your guy?
Nope, I'm gonna say Julio Rodriguez. I love my guy, but I'm talking about right now who may be set to be ready. The way have I seen this guy Julio Rodriguez? I got Julio Rodriguez. Jarred Kelenic sucks. He stinks, bro. That dude sucks, bro. I'm not too a big a fan of Jarred Kelenic. He's been struggling all year, but Julio Rodriguez is that dude, man. I think he's ready for playoff baseball. Guy had a magnificent season, bro. My guy Jeremy Pena's okay, but I just gotta see. I gotta see how he's gonna handle. I just gotta see. He's strikeout prone. He's very strikeout prone. So once he get ready to lower the strikeouts down, he'll be fine. But right now, who can I trust more? I'm gonna be able to trust Julio Rodriguez more to go out there and light it up.
I'm gonna say Spencer Strider.
That's not a bad choice either.
Unfortunately, he played not unfortunately, but he plays for the Braves. The Braves get to sit and relax. But this kid has a definitely promising future. Could be a future Cy Young winner. Later on in his career, and that 16 strikeout game, man, that was crazy. That was definitely crazy. But let's go ahead and break down this postseason matchup here. We'll be thinking our predictions and picks and everything. The first round it is going to be the Cardinals versus the Phillies. Got some facts for y'all before y'all go in. Wheelers faced the Cardinals 3 times since the start of 2021, allowing one run in 22 innings. Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado are a combined 16 of 72 against Wheeler and Nola. No home runs, 14 Ks. And Nola is the first pitcher since 1984 to have 220 plus strikeouts and fewer than 30 walks in the season. And when the Phillies played the Cardinals, they are 4-3 this season. So, with all that being said, who are you guys taking to get out the first round? Is it going to be the Cardinals, or is it going to be the Phillies?
I would say the Phillies because if we have Nola going games, we have Wheeler going games 1 and Nola 2. Like you said, Nolan Arenado and Goldschmidt struggle against them. I mean, both teams are great offensively. So I think that's going to be, we're going to see because I think it's going to come down to the pitching. I feel like what's going to come down to, especially, Miles Mikolas is pretty solid. I mean, I don't know who the Cardinals are going to throw out there. But if you want to have a best chance to win, I'd say go with Nola or Wheeler and Nola against 1 and 2 for a best chance to take that 2 out of 3 and move on to Atlanta.
I'm gonna have to agree with Rob here. If it is Wheeler Nola 1 and 2, I expect this team to win the series two games to 1. Or actually 2 games to none because it's a 3-game
It's best
series.
of 3.
It's best of 3. So 2 games to none.
Why are you hitting me? You want to be Chinese food today? Don't you? Why? Sorry.
But yeah, I no, it's all good. Animals, they get a pass. Yeah, I really think this team can win this series soundly if it's Wheeler and Nola 1 and 2, considering those facts. But the offense has to hit the ball. There's been some games this season where we're just quiet with those guys on the mound. But if we hit the ball well, timely hitting, or if we win with the home run ball, that's fine. I feel like we'll win this series 2-0.
Dante, you got.
In the Cardinals 2-1. I'm gonna take
Oh,
them.
come on, bro.
Come on, bro. Now I'm take the Cardinals 2-1. I know they own them in the regular season, but regular season is a whole different story.
Mm-hmm.
If you get in that playoffs, what's this is? It's 0-0. It's neck to neck. Anything can happen. I think it's gonna be a tough series, but I got the Cardinals 2-1.
Come on, man. Wheeler Nola. You think they're gonna hit around with Wheeler Nola out there?
It all depends. Like Nola can be.
Baseball is only different, dude. You can't go by regular season no more. But if they win, they win.
Man, you're not giving Philly a chance, man.
Huh? How I give y'all a chance? I gave y'all one game, 2-1. That's a competitive series. 2-1.
There's no 2-1. Well, there's 2-1 if we go to game 3.
It's the best of 3. It's 2-1.
So I'm gonna go to Phillies here. I think it'll go all 3. I don't think it's gonna be a sweep.
You know, I could definitely see that. I think because Cardinals, and I'll say this too, even the regular season, Cardinals gave us some problems. So I could definitely see it going 3 games. That's for sure.
I mean, I don't want it to go 3 games because the Ranger Suarez is going to be that third pitcher on the third day. So I mean, I don't want it to go to the.
I mean, the best way to do it is get a sweep.
So we gotta come out and play with Nola and Wheeler. They gotta be the guys, but it could be pitching. But offensively, the bats gotta be there because Wheeler and Nola can pitch their asses off, and the bats don't help them out now.
Yeah,
yeah. That's the only gripe that I have. I would agree with Dante if the bats don't show up. If the bats show up, the Cardinals don't have a chance with Wheeler and Nola out there. But if it comes to the Atlanta series, we're done. Because that back half of the rotation is just not good.
It really isn't. But I mean,
it's just not good.
We surprised some people. We surprised Atlanta. Surprisingly, with Atlanta, we 8-11.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. The back half,
get numbered in any day, just like football any given Sunday. It don't matter who. If your bats are swinging and your pitching is good. Definitely, you can win a game.
I get that. Yes, we could win. We could win some games against Atlanta, but I really don't think we have a fat chance against Atlanta because of that.
3 games, best of 5.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. I don't know. I don't know if it comes to that. If it comes to that, where we get to the Suarez start or the Syndergaard start or the Gibson start. I don't know if we have a chance, guys.
But Falter,
there can hold on because there would be some games where, yeah, they're good. Like this season, some starts were good for them, but most of the starts weren't. And specifically, it was later in the season. Gibson fell off a cliff. Syndergaard wasn't really good prior or after we traded for him. And Suarez, I don't know what happened to him. Like he's kind of up and down all year. So I feel like the Atlanta series, where those guys get a chance to start, we're gonna struggle. And that's my unbiased opinion. Bias, I do want them to win because I'm a Philly fan. You know, I want them to go all the way and win the World Series. But the thing is, I don't know if we got enough pieces to do it. That's the thing.
That's a very good point too, because I mean, Fulcher has been, Fulcher, and that's the thing that's another guy that a lot of times people are not going to give this man credit for. Despite being a bullpen guy, he has been very consistent when it comes to into the rotation. Because if Ranger kind of completely shits the bed, or Kyle Gibson shits the bed, Bailey Fulcher is the one guy that actually steps up in the rotation to help Phillies win some games. And we've had won, I think, 6 out of our last 7 in Fulcher starts in 1 week.
Fulcher's been really good for us this year. But they're not going to start him in the playoffs. That's like throwing him to the wolves. Like, they're not doing that. Let's be real.
All right, so let's go down to the other National League wild card, and we all know the Mets is going to be here because the Mets choke over all the time. So it's the Mets versus the Padres. Dante called it. He said the Mets is going to stink, and they're going to lose that in NL East. And what happened? The Braves.
Yep.
So San Diego.
Here's the thing. Is it really?
What'd you say, Tyler?
Is it really that? Is it really that shocking that the Mets plummeted the way they did? To
you signed all this talent,
not being a division winner.
I'll say this too: the fact you picked up Marte, you re-signed Francisco Lindor, also actually had a pretty good year, but still stealing a shit ton of money from the Mets because the dude just has not been the same since leaving Cleveland. But you signed all this big name talent and you completely fall off a cliff. Like, what sense does that make? Yes, I mean Chris Bassett has been good.
But here's the thing: they had a division since April, and then they lose it in the season.
Because think about it, because you just got DeGrom back, and he got beat up by Atlanta. You had Scherzer.
Scherzer got beat up. Like
Chris Bassett got beat up. Like your top 3 guys got beat up by Atlanta. Like that is embarrassing. Carlos Carrasco sucks ass.
Yeah. I mean, come on, but Atlanta is a good baseball team. Come on.
That's what we're saying.
They're a good baseball team, but they're not a division winner. That's the problem. And they were saying to be a division winner.
It's a very good baseball team. They're a very good baseball team. So
and they're very great at one at that too. For being
they beat up on DeGrom and no Carlos Carrasco. He's not the same Carlos Carrasco in Cleveland. He sucks right now.
He sucks ass.
Yep.
I mean,
Carrasco is just a thumb.
Gonna say Dante, start with you. Who you got in this series?
I'm pulling for the upset. I'm going San Diego. I don't.
Oh damn!
I'm going for the Juan Soto. They got Will Myers back. They still got Manny Machado. I don't know if they got Tatis back. I don't know if they.
No, Tatis is suspended.
Okay, well anyway, he's spending. I talked about my boy Jake Cronenworth. I think the bats are good enough to handle Matt Scherzer and handle Jacob DeGrom. I'm pulling for the damn upset right here, and I'm going for the Padres.
And Marte's not playing this series at all.
And that's another big blow.
Upset.
I want to take the Padres because if you have Darvish going game 1, a lot of times Darvish kills the Mets. We saw it in the numbers that he's pitched against the Mets. Like, he kills the Mets. Like Dante said, you got Will Myers back. You got, and this is another thing that I want to add to.
And you got Josh Bell. I forgot. You got
Josh Bell too.
As a good first
baseman. And Dante, think about this too. The Padres play better baseball without Tatis. Because it seems like Tatis, when Tatis is out of the picture, like it's been much better baseball from the Padres. I mean, we've seen it. I think this game, I'm going to go with the Padres, but I think it might go all 5 games. I think it's going to be a dogfight. All 3. Oh, right. That's right. I'm just thinking of the division series. Holy crap! I think it's
this whole series wild card thing is confusing, so I get it. I'm gonna have to take the Padres here. This team is just faltered. The Mets just faltered, and I don't think they'll recover. I really don't. I feel like Scherzer's gonna get batted around still. DeGrom's gonna get batted around still. And like Dante and Rob said, that offense for the Padres is just too deadly. Even without Tatis. Even without Tatis, they're still deadly. And I feel like that's what's going to set this edge for the Padres. They're going to win this game. They're going to win the series.
And I think also that's going to put on Mets fans on suicide watch. So I mean that. I'm
Mets
sorry,
fans,
I have
Mets
to
fans,
put it out there.
Here's the thing. They already need their blood pressure checked because they think they plummeted out of the race. No,
I know there's some diehards like, but the Mets are.
You know that guy that I've been seeing on TikTok, that big heavyset dude who bites the necklace and stuff and like completely goes crazy. He's gonna have a heart attack after this series. He's gonna have a heart attack after this series. He's gonna go on.
I'm still gonna take the Mets. I feel like somehow, some way, they're still gonna pull it through. I do think it's gonna go 3. It's not gonna be no sweep or anything. But I got the Mets moving on, and I think they lose to the Dodgers. They're gonna lose to the Dodgers. But I got the
there's no way they're beating the Dodgers. No way.
All right, so Flame said Padres got this one. I won't see Juan Soto
shut the Mets up.
So that was your
and shut their fans up for once. Except, I mean, yes, I'm friends with a few, like 2 Mets fans that are like decent. They don't really talk loud, but the majority of their fans, oh my gosh,
yes. And you thought Philadelphia fans were obnoxious. Good Lord.
We can be obnoxious, but
not as bad as New York fans. I mean,
oh my God.
I mean, New York and Philadelphia are the most ruthless places to play since they are one of the parts of the bigger markets in sports.
Why Ben Simmons wanted to play in Brooklyn, I do not know.
Well, that'll be that's a different side, but I
don't care. I just wanted to add that dig in since you said New York, so.
Yeah,
or Ruthless,
you're not wrong.
So that was your National League wild card. Neither team decided who they wanted to put out for pitching. The Cardinals didn't put their lineup out yet either. But in the American League side, we got the Tampa Bay Rays going up against the Cleveland Guardians. And they're starting with McClanahan and Bieber for games on. If they're starting Shane Bieber, the Guardians are taking game 1.
I'm going to take the Rays. I think the Rays actually play well behind McClanahan because I think McClanahan is probably one of the best front runners for the AL Cy Young. Because I think even though he has gotten hurt, but it's still a good year for the Tampa Bay Rays. Yes, I know the record has not been there of what we expected what the Rays to be. I mean, you still got Diaz, you got Wander Franco. I know he's still trying to find his way coming back from an injury. I mean, Mike Zunino has been somewhat consistent for them, even though I think most of this Rays team has had a down year, but it was still a decent season nonetheless. But I feel like it's going to be a dogfight in game 1. I know that for a fact.
But here's the thing. I have to agree with Rob here. Yes, they didn't have the best of season like they did last year, winning 90-something games. And they did regress a little bit, but they're still a really great team, and they could give the Guardians a run for their money. I just don't see them winning this series. I really don't. So I really think this is going to be a 2-1 series. It's going to go to 3. So
who you take, Tyler?
I take the Guardians 2-1.
Rob, who you got?
I got the Tampa Bay Rays.
Dante?
I'm going with the damn Guardians. I'm going for.
Oh damn!
I was saying the same thing. Yep.
You gotta give Jose Ramirez his respect.
That was okay.
He could have asked for a trade and got the hell up out of there, but that shows how good he is. Their pitching has been good, and McKenzie has been a really good pitcher. Out for him, he's been a very good pitcher. And like Tyler said, Beavers as well. Shane McClanahan, Sugar Shane, the one AJ called Sugar Shane. I've been looking for him for a while. AJ, he has not shown up. But Sugar Shane has been struggling at the end of the year. He got knocked around by the Houston Astros. And if he plays a very good team,
he could get knocked around. That's patient. That is really patient and don't swing at his nasty pitches. Then he could get knocked around. So I'm picking the Guardians for the upset. And Terry Francona is a fucking good general manager. He's a good manager.
And honestly, at this point, he's already making his case to be a Hall of Fame manager at that. Even though even though Cleveland does sometimes, going back to 2016, kind of pull the Golden State Warriors as it's blowing a 3-1 lead, but that's besides the point. But I think overall, though, like I said, I think the American League, I think both leagues are going to have really good postseason games. I can see the Guardians because Dante's already made a good point, but I still think I want to go with the race because they're the more experienced when it comes to the postseason. But I feel like if it goes 3 games, I'd be surprised.
Right.
And I think this is going to be the best series. It's got the Mariners and the Blue Jays. We all got.
I'm going
to about the Warriors.
But
watch your mouth about my Warriors.
I'm going to take the Mariners because the Mariners actually know how to play pretty well against the Toronto Blue Jays. Now the Blue Jays, on the other hand, they're pretty good, but I can't trust the rotation. Barrios, like I said, had a down year. Just some of their guys has not been just never showing up, like a Kevin Biggio. Mitch White is absolute buns since getting traded from the Dodgers to the Toronto Blue Jays. So the rotation is, I will call it into question. But Ross Stripling, for me, has been the most consistent guy in that rotation. The bullpen has been, from what us Phillies fans saw, has been good, but not great. But they got some decent arms to really get that in there. But with how the Mariners, how they play, I think the Mariners, even they play well at the Rogers Center too, which also is a factor in as well because a lot of teams can beat up on their Blue Jays.
Yeah, and they're in Toronto.
Yeah. I'm happy for
Castillo for the Mariners and Manoah for the Blue Jays. That's who getting the starter. That's starting pitching.
All right. I'm going to have to agree with Rob. The Cinderella story for the Mariners will not end here. Because like Rob said, they have the ability to beat the Blue Jays because they've beaten the Blue Jays before this season. Yes, like Dante does say, the regular season and the playoffs are a different beast, but the track record shows they have the ability to beat this team. Like the Phillies have the ability to beat the Cardinals. So I do think the Mariners will take this series. It won't be a 2-0 sweep. It'll be a 2-1.
I'm going to go. It's going to go in 3 games. That's for sure.
It's going to go to 3 games, but I really think that this team is going to continue their Cinderella story.
Dante?
I'm going for the Mariners. I like their pitching staff better than the Blue Jays. Like Luis Castillo better.
Honestly, they're both deserve that bag.
Like Marco Gonzalez better, even though he had an under 500 record, but the team's got to put up the team Mariners when he's on the mound, they don't put up run support for him, but he's a very good pitcher. Garrett is good. Garrett is a goddamn good pitcher for Seattle. I like their pitching style better. I know the Blue Jays lineup is dangerous, with Vladdy Guerrero Jr. with you got George Springer a part of the lineup. You do got Teoscar Hernandez.
Alejandro Kirk has been deadly.
All that, but I also think Seattle Mariners batting lineup can kind of match that a little bit with a Julio Rodriguez, with a Cal Raleigh as well, who came along. And you got Mitch Haniger. You do got Mitch Haniger, who's came along. You got J.P. Crawford as well. And you got one of the most consistent hitters that they had on the team. And he's another Astro killer, Ty France, that should have been a damn star as well. So I got the Seattle Mariners winning this series in a close, hard-fought series 2-1.
Before we close this out, that hurts hearing that name J.P. Crawford. That hurts.
Yeah,
He was with Philly and did next to nothing.
Shit the
for
bed.
Philly. Next to nothing for Philly.
And has a breakout year with Seattle. But I mean, look, I couldn't have wished the best of luck to Crawford, because Philadelphia, not just in baseball, just in sports in general in the city of Philadelphia, we have expectations. If you don't meet those or surpass it, we will let you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I said, you gotta have thick skin to play in Philly, but are we just wanting some effort? Why do you think AI still love every time he comes to the floor? Every time he comes to Wells Fargo, why do you think we cheer AI?
Ain't that strange though? Everybody that leave Philly goes somewhere and be in
It always happens. It never fails.
It always
Never fails. Look at JP Crawford. He's in the wild card with the Mariners. Didn't do nothing for Philly. Let's see.
Reggie White. He left
How about Hector Neris? How about him?
Freaking Neris.
But hold on. Here's the thing about Hector Neris.
I think he got better.
Right. No, it's not just that, Rob. He was never used right in Philly. That was the problem.
Thank you, tell him, Tyler. I told Tyler
He was never used right in Philly. And the thing is, we were finally using him right later half of last season, and then we traded him to the Astros. And
no, we just let him walk in free agency because his contract was up.
Well, we just let him walk in free agency. He goes to the Astros. They use him to say that same way we used him later. I'm like, he could have came back when he used you.
And clinches a guy. Clinches the damn division.
Clinches the game and clinches the playoff.
As a dang closer for that game. Like,
I told y'all we were gonna get that dude, right? I told y'all, because you ain't gotta worry about him. The problem is y'all had him in the closer role. He's not a closer, he's a setup, he's more of a setup.
Yeah, that's the thing that I was saying. That's exactly what I was saying. He had too much pressure in Philly to be the closing guy, and he's not that guy.
All right, everybody go around. Who wins it all?
Okay.
So who's going to be in the World Series and who wins it all?
I feel like it's going to be a repeat. LA versus Dodgers. Or no, the LA versus Atlanta. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm going to think the Yankees are going to make some noise. I do think the Yankees are going to get their guys back. I still think, I look.
Or not LA versus Atlanta. They're in the same division. Dang it. Never mind.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like it's going to be either Yankees or Astros going to the World Series. Either of those two teams.
They can't go. You need a National League team, Tyler.
Let me cover the AL first. I said either the Astros.
So who's going to the World Series and who are you picking to win?
I think the National League. I would have Atlanta to represent the National League, because yes, I mean we know how good the Dodgers are, but when you talk about the hard work ethic and grittiness that the Atlanta brings, why can't you have that?
They're scrappy. So yes, on the National League side, I am picking the Atlanta Braves. But the AL, I'm on the fence between.
Yeah, you're very on the fence with this one because they're
hold on. Let me finish, Rob. You're cutting in. But I'm on the fence between the Astros and the Yankees. So either of those teams can make it. So I'm probably going to more than likely pick the Astros because of experience. So yeah, the Astros, but I do think the Yankees will make the Yankees.
But I will say I will have the Yankees. I would say if I want to have a World Series match, I would say the Yankees and Braves, in my honest opinion.
Dante?
I would say the Astros and the Dodgers.
Damn it, Dante, get out my head.
I said my Astros because I think we're a far better pitching team than the Yankees. I think we pitch better. We do enough to hold a Yankee. The only team that can really pitch in the American League against the Yankees is the Astros. And it didn't show just in the regular season. It shows in the playoffs every time we played them. It just shows in the playoffs every time we play them. I'm going to take that route right there. And I think the Dodgers is by far the best team in baseball as far as I've seen. But it is regular season. So other than that, I say if the Dodgers don't make the World Series, it's a damn disappointment year. It's a disappointment year if they don't make the World Series this year.
Eric will have a fit.
I will say this, Dante. They will remember that one. The Yankees will remember that one game where y'all pitched a no-no against them. They will remember that.
And
That
I'm
is
gonna
true.
I don't know if it's going to happen again, but I do think the Astros will have a strong case at making the
Dang,
World Series.
Dante, how many no-nos y'all hit this year?
As far as I know, it's the Yankees. I don't remember no. We came close. We came close to doing it.
You almost did it with us. Y'all almost did it with us
Hey,
last
Garrett
night.
Stubbs ruined
in a
it.
meaningless,
Yeah.
in a meaningless game, no less. So you wouldn't have much laugh. You would laugh at us, but we would laugh back and say it was
I
a
wouldn't
meaningless
laugh at y'all.
game.
You know what I mean, y'all made the playoffs, so we
Yeah.
didn't even play.
I mean, we can all agree. I know.
We both didn't care about that game.
I would have sarcastically went, "Oh no, we were no hit," but that was
Even though in the two meaningless games.
Yeah.
There's
I literally posted. I literally posted.
You say what?
There's only 4. There's only been 4 this year.
Yeah, there hasn't been many.
But right now, if I had to choose, I'm gonna take the Dodgers to beat my Astros in the World Series. I just think the Dodgers are right now better than my Astros. A slight bit of my Astros better, but it will go 7. So I'm gonna get a World Series to the.
But I feel like the pitching's going to carry that Houston because, like I said, I mean, we know how good the Dodgers are, but we know that one weak link is Cody Bellinger. I think Houston pitching is going to feast on that, and if it's going to go to 7 games, that's what's going to happen.
I will say this: Cody Bellinger spends too much time on that pot than hitting the ball.
Oh God!
Just saying.
But I mean, so far, I'm looking forward to so postseason. God, thank God, so we don't have to worry about losing.
We're in it for once, man. We're in it for once.
Dante, y'all did it June 25th against the Yankees.
That's it.
I know. That was the inside Yankee Stadium. We pitched a combined no hitter.
Yeah.
That's when Christian Vasquez. That's when Christian Javier had 15. That's the game he had 15 strikeouts. Hector Neris was a part of the no hitter. Look at that. He come to the Astros.
Neris, man.
He come to the Astros, get a no hitter, be a part of a no hitter.
Couldn't even do that in Philly.
So I would say he didn't go for that in Philly.
April 29th, the Mets had a no hitter off of us.
On my birthday.
Yeah.
Oh.
On my birthday.
That's the
I
worst.
was so mad. I was so mad that day that happened. On my birthday, they got no hit. Like, really? My birthday, you couldn't get one hit? Come on.
Hey, Key, I get to hear Tyler say, if the Sixers don't make it past the first round or don't make it past the second round, I get to hear Tyler say, I get to laugh and hear Tyler say, it's the same shit every single year. We
Yeah,
get
I said that.
we don't go.
Here's the thing. I will say that because it's true.
Until they prove me wrong, it's another second round exit.
Pretty much. But other than that, though, I
And
mean,
here's the thing. I'm not saying if they have a best record in the NBA this year that they're going all the way. I'm gonna say it's another second round exit until you prove me otherwise.
yeah, right. I mean, plus it's
Not getting my hopes up for nothing because I got my hopes up last year.
Also-
They were down.
honestly, I'll admit this too. I'm not holding my breath for this. If the Sixers have a good
I'm
season,
not.
I'm not holding my breath.
I'm not doing it either. I don't care if they play lights out defensively in the regular season. If you don't show me nothing in playoffs, then I don't.
Any other last words y'all got?
Not really, but I'm excited. I mean, for those who want to, because you're going to see me, Tyler, and Dante doing a lot of postseason games this year. So I mean,
You know what my final word was?
I might do one, even if it ain't the Phillies. I might even
God.
do one.
God bless you.
Key, we gotta get you to do another Flyers game like you did last year.
I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
Guy's name who I can't pronounce scored a goal. Yay!
I know the Flyers teams. It's just when
Is it preseason for the hockey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beat nobody in preseason. Golly, they can't beat nobody in regular season and preseason. Golly.
Yeah, we suck. We suck, Dante. We're terrible.
Everyone goes there for Gritty.
I might go to the game, but y'all
Gritty's the only exception that doesn't suck for the Flyers because he's the cutest thing ever. Even though he looks like a monstrosity, he's still cute.
Gritty is the Philly Fanatics' cousin. I don't hear.
No, I say he's the fanatic on crack.
No, he's no. You know who he is. No, you know what he is. I'm gonna go with Robert. He's the The Philly Fanatics cracked out best friend.
Look, when we went to the game,
Oh no, I was just about to say.
when we went to the game, Gritty sat right in front of us. Right in front of us.
God damn.
What? Yo, that's a bad move.
Before we get up
That's
out
a
of here,
bad mascot move,
I
man.
gotta get this reaction up out of you, Key, before we get up out of here. When you and Spotlight was at the game, you said the Flyers was up what 2-0, and how many points they scored in that? The other team scored in that.
Here's the thing, Key. I think
they was up. What was it? 3 to, it was a 4-3. Oh, anyway, they had 2 minutes left. They was up. 2 minutes left. They lost by 2 in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes.
What?
They lost by 2 in 2 minutes.
here's the thing. Here's the thing, Key. Here's the thing, though. I think Gritty, when he sat in front of you, saved you from that atrocious season.
No, that's the game. That's the game we actually won. Though I think we beat the.
Then that was a bad move on Gritty's part. But my final thought before we end this stream.
Oh my god.
Red October's back, baby. Let's go. Red October's back, baby.
We get to see Franklin in Swoop.
Yeah, I'll say this too. I mean, it's just like I don't know. Like I don't know. Sometimes I don't know even how to feel at this point with the Phillies finally making the playoffs because it's.
Hold on, y'all were talking. You guys were talking like over my final take, but Red October's back, baby. But finish what your thought was, Rob.
At 11 almost decade of this shit that the Phillies have not finally made the postseason. It still doesn't know how it feels like after 10 long.
Here's the thing. It feels like we were just born, or we're just learning how to walk again. Because it's like we don't know how to react at this point. Like, it's weird, just so weird. Because we expected disappointment and we didn't get disappointment.
Yeah.
We didn't get disappointment for once. And it's weird. I'm like, this team's good? What?
No, all season we had to deal with Robert. Oh, this team sucks. This team sucks. And then the next couple games, yes, they did this, they did that. And then
we're so bipolar.
Every time he's in the group chat, oh, this team sucks. Expect disappointment.
Yeah.
I'm like, Rob, calm down. It's a
He
game.
the same way about the Philadelphia 76ers. He the same way about the Philadelphia.
Honestly, at this
time, you can give up one run.
Well, we know what you expect from the Sixers.
This damn dude trash. This damn dude trash. He give up one run in the game. You give up one run and 1 second in the game. Ball game. Robert already panicking. Robert say, "I like."
That's the thing. That's the thing. Oh, it's 1-0. We're gonna lose this game. This team's trash. I'm like, Rob. I'm like Rob. It's 1-0. Calm down.
I know. He be tripping like 1-0 like Robert. We still got 9. We still got 8 innings left. What do you?
It's like 1-0 in the second inning. I'm like, Rob, it's the second inning. It's 1 run. Calm down.
Robert was on Courtmouth's ass last year. He was on Courtmouth's ass last year.
Trust me, Cork. We don't know that. We all know that Corkmouth is a complete ass.
Cork can stick a cork. Here's the thing: Cork Maz can stick a cork in his career. I don't care what anybody says.
I do have a Discord. I haven't used it in God knows how long though, but I do actually have one.
Yeah, but I think
Spotlight Sports Network has a Discord too.
Yeah, which is So I mean, for those who are watching it and on the Spotlight Sports Network, it's linked down below. And also too, before we wrap it up, you want to get any concert tickets, sporting tickets. Check out our promo code on SeatGeek. Use our promo code Spotlight Sports Network to save $20 off, which eliminates all fees. Key took advantage of that, so you guys do not want to miss out on that.
I'm going to
and there's one thing Key didn't take advantage of, but I will give her a pass because it's a Hey Randy shirt. I'll give her a pass.
Hey Randy.
Fanatics, Fanatics. Not funny Fanatics, just Fanatics.
Yeah, and check that down.
$20 off.
Right. I was irked. I was so mad I didn't put that code in.
$20 off. Use the promo code Spotlight Sports Network to get your jerseys, wrestling merch, baseball caps,
Whatever the case
whatever.
is.
I know right now
Whatever.
it's the Soldiers for the NFL. That link is
Down below.
Yeah,
Right down here, guys. Right down here. Don't forget to hit the link down below if you want to get your jerseys, your hats, your wrestling merch. If you're a wrestling fan, anything sports related or wrestling related, click it down below. And we'll hook you up with the coupon, $20 off. Spotlight Sports Network. Use the promo code.
Y'all do any baseball play-by-play for the world, for this playoffs in general? Just let me know.
What? Okay, I'm gonna see when it starts. I believe this playoff game started early, right? They play early.
It's Friday.
It's on Friday. Friday's when it starts.
Let you know right now. The Phillies start at 2:07.
And you have Saturday at 8:37.
The Rays and Guardians is first. They're at 12.
All right,
okay.
So we'll be on.
It's the Rays and Guardians at 12.
Is that on ABC or ESPN?
They all on ESPN. Okay, so the Rays and Guardians is at 12 at ESPN.
Okay.
Then you got the Phillies and the Cardinals, ABC, 2:07. Then you got the Mariners and the Blue Jays, 4:07 ESPN, and then the late game is the Padres and the Braves. I mean, the Padres and the Mets.
Hey, Robert, whatever game you decide to do, put me on.
I might do the because I might do the Phillies and
I'll do that with Rob because I get to watch that game.
I'm gonna do it with y'all then. I got you. Just put me on with you, Rob.
You're welcome. More than welcome.
What is further AM talking about?
What?
So about the
the Spotlight Sport Network is not safe and saying privacy error. You guys steal information like credit cards and passwords? No.
What are you talking about?
No.
I think you're talking about. I think it's about the wrong. It's SpotlightSportsNetwork.net.
It's SpotlightSportsNetwork.net.
Yeah, the .com. We never got that back up and running.
The .com is if you want to be a part of the network that has your information to fill it in to be a part of our team.
Yeah, we don't steal credit card information.
I was just on their website. The network has all of our audio stuff on there.
Yeah,
but we don't steal like credit card information or privacy.
This is the website right here, SpotlightSportsNetwork.net.
Yeah, we don't
right here.
we don't steal anybody's information and stuff like that. We don't.
I'm actually putting the web.
Like, what are you talking about? It's right. Look, I'm on it right now. It's our audio stuff. This is the morning show from yesterday, from the 5th. So all our audio stuff is on here.
Yeah, all of our audio stuff is there. But the thing is, we don't steal stuff from people. So don't worry about that, man.
That's what I was like, huh?
Yeah, we don't do that.
Credit cards.
Yeah, trust me,
I don't even know anybody's credit card information, let alone.
I'm going to definitely change that in the next episode or change it later. But yeah, so I did post the link the website in the link in the chat below.
Further, sorry if you got any bad advice from us, but we're not like that, man. We're not like that at all.
The only thing you have to put your credit card and stuff in if you're trying to buy any merch. And the merch, if you go into the website, there's a shop and you can get any merch that's on the team. So you still won't see the credit card information. That's the only thing
then we don't see any credit card information or any of that. We just see the transaction being made, and that's it.
Pretty much.
What are y'all not putting in this SpotlightSportsNetwork.net? And I just showed y'all we was on here.
Yeah, so I did put it in the chat. So for those who want to check that out, so
did you put .com in the description or what? Like what happened, Rob?
Apparently, okay.
Like clearly, there's a disconnect, and I don't know what caused it.
But I don't know. But like I said, I'll definitely fix it later. After
you got the So somebody not putting something in right now. You good.
Okay.
Yeah, but other than that, though, like I said, we appreciate everybody coming through for another episode of the Between the Lines. Shout out to Key, Tyler, and Dante for another episode of the Between the Lines. Hopefully, we're trying to do more.
This is what happens when you put in SpotlightSportsNetwork.com. Join the team.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah, we don't do that credit card information. And
nah, because I think we gave up on the .com. But other than that, though, with that out of the way, appreciate everybody coming through.
No, I said it works now.
Okay. But yeah,
Okay.
but other than that, though, I mean, you know, we're looking forward to postseason baseball. But with that being said, thank you for those who joined here. That being said, let's see you guys in the next one.
Peace.